Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Monster Energy DreamHack Studios Game 1. I've got one word for that game, Meepo. Big Daddy with quite the performance. Shane, you were pretty excited watching that game. You were jiggling in your seat, you were cheering, you were hyped up.
Honestly, I just saw, when I saw the Meepo, I didn't think they could deal with it at all. They tried, but the offensive dual lane of Undying Darkseer, I think, just put too much pressure on the map. And they couldn't deal with him. That smoke gank, when they killed the courier, do you think that would have made any difference, guys?
I mean, I really feel like the Meepo last pick was just too overwhelmingly strong. I don't really think that, like, yes, there were some mistakes made by Liquid, 100%, but I feel like the Meepo as a whole was a great last pick that, you know, sometimes you just get outdrafted in those scenarios. Like the last pick on Dying that we saw yesterday, it's just like one of those scenarios where it's just like, well, that happened. You do your best, and maybe you can win just out of complete superior play, but with two teams that are, I would say, rather even skill ground like this, I think there's very little that you can do. They may have made it less of a stomp, but it still would have been
And we
bad.
talked about how much Liquid prioritizes the Queen of Pain, and it seems like Meepo is just the brick wall that what does the Queen of Pain do? Once she gets caught by one Earthbind, it's just, she's stuck. She can't do anything.
Pretty hard, yeah.
Despite what, like, it makes a lot of sense. Despite what Blitz said, which was, like, the Queen of Pain does quite well against the Meepo, and then also said in the same cast that Meepo was the counter to Queen of Pain. She is, like, she's incredibly locked down by Earthbind. It's a really tough, like, you can't really do much.
I gotta back up my Asian brother here. I think I think Blitz said that Meepo is a straight counter to Queen of Pain, both in the laning stage as well as in fights. Am I right? All right, he gives me the thumbs up. So
yeah.
No, in his description of, like, they have a lot of control over Meepo, like, Queen of Pain does quite well against it. I was just like, wait, what?
I think
no, but the big thing is I think a lot of those control never came to fruition. Like the Night Stalker, sure, he's a control if he does well, gets Axe, right? Shaker, great control if he gets Blink. Like, the game ended in 20 minutes. Like, there was no if getting those items.
They pushed high ground before the supports were level 6.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, I think they got their comfort heroes, but they don't have their players playing the comfort hero. It wasn't a fault of Queen of Pain. Jirax, to me, did not seem like the Jirax that get to roam around and do a lot of work. Blitz said he was a kind of slow starting support. To me, he is. And he never really got the space or time to actually develop into what he normally does.
Yeah, it seemed like one of those games where Monkey Business just set the tempo so high that it really threw Liquid off their game. They didn't really have time to adjust, and it was more running around trying to put out fires and just falling further and further behind as they kept losing more heroes.
More trying to, like, save the situation rather than making a new situation of it.
Yeah, and when you can control the tempo of the game like that, it usually bodes well for that team.
Particularly on Dire side, which you just always snowball so heavily with the Roshan advantage.
Yeah.
Like, once they got Roshan and Meepo, it was like 100%.
Yeah, that was like, what, a 12-minute Rosh, 13-minute Rosh?
Yeah.
Blink Ags on your Meepo, that's scary stuff, man. It really is. And it wasn't the mid Meepo as well. We were all sort of thinking, okay, maybe the Queen of Pain Meepo matchup, and the musical lane seemed to really favor the Monkey Business side as well.
But this is a best of 3, and it's still, like, the series is still very far open. The big question for me is, like, where are they actually going to ban the Meepo now?
Yeah.
How much priority are they going to put into taking away the Meepo? I don't think you fit in the 1-2, but maybe you ban it out in the 3-4.
It opens up heroes like Venomancer, like Winter Wyvern, these kind of heroes that kind of are usually picked a bit later on in the draft.
Yeah.
And they can be key to...
I wonder if Liquid will first ban the Anti-Mage again. Last game it was Wisp Anti-Mage that they took out straight away.
Well, I'm alone thinking that Anti-Mage is not all that, but it seems like these teams are...
I mean, it's just specifically... I think they could probably take a chance at leaving the Anti-Mage open, and it'll probably... Like, it could be picked up in the 1-2. I think you do have decent response to it on Liquid. I think they're, like, out of all the teams that would be able to control it, I think that Liquid is probably the best in this qualifier.
We very, very rarely see Bloodseeker anymore, but in my opinion, he's one of the best heroes against Anti-Mage. You know, you rupture him, he can't get away, that kind of stuff. Like, is it possible to pick Bloodseeker against? Like, leave them the Anti-Mage and, like, later on pick Bloodseeker?
I think he's a situational hero and very counterpicky as opposed to, like, 6.84, where he was just strong in general.
He's good against the Darkseer as well, which they favor heavily.
The Thirst change just makes it so hard for him to ramp up, because part of his power used to be having a ridiculous laning stage where he had all this damage, all this movement speed. Now that that's kind of gone, the 75% threshold doesn't come into play nearly as much in those early levels. It doesn't let him snowball as well to take over the game in the mid game. I feel like that's just the biggest bottleneck with Bloodseeker, even if he is kind of a good counterpick to specific heroes.
I think it's more important for Team Liquid to just draft the thing that they want to draft. Like, forget about worrying about Meepo too much. Sure, you keep that in mind, and throughout the picks, you make sure you have some decent counters or take out the Meepo. I think it's a dangerous mentality to kind of like, oh, I need to worry about this and I have to worry about that. Then you start getting like outthinking yourself.
Well, it's sort of like similar to what happened in that game where they're putting out fires, and then you take that mentality into the draft where we're putting out fires instead of focusing on what are the things that we can do well.
I mean, that was their first loss in a long, long time. It's fine. Like they're an excellent team. They know they're an excellent team. Kuroki's been around for a long time, so hopefully we just see a good draft and good execution. Like that wasn't an outplay by any means. Just outdrafted.
Agree.
Yeah.
Okay, you think that was all out draft, really?
Yeah. Just the Meepo.
Okay, just the Meepo. All right, well, we'll see. Speaking of the draft, we've got one underway, so let's see what's going on here in game number 2 of this best of 3. And remember, guys, if you fall behind in your coverage, there's a lot of Dota that's been going on over the last few days. You can check out the Score Esports on the iOS App Store as well as on Google Play, and they'll keep you up to date with everything that's going on here in the major qualifiers. So things looking a little different this go-round. No anti-mage ban here, boys.
Yeah, the Tusk being first pick by Monkey Business, I think that's probably one of the better openings just because the Tusk offers a decent amount of versatility in your draft for position or off lane. Especially as an off laner, there's an unusual amount of aggression that can come out from that hero, kind of similar to the way the Nightstalker and Earthshaker both work. I think that was good. Team Liquid, though, the response, they managed to get the Queen of Pain once again. This time around, they're going to couple it with the Ember Spirit. So we already have 2 of our 3 cores locked down, and I would say, in a way, 2 of the most important cores. That's a little bit scary because the response from Monkey Business with the Beastmaster is actually really good versus both these heroes.
Yeah, there's a lot of other heroes that are great against both of these. For example, Silencer comes to mind, Disruptor comes to mind. You have a lot of Chase or Silence in particular. Also, a lot of cores could punish both of these cores as well. It is pretty risky to kind of draft both of these from the get-go, but obviously, the power of these cores, very mobile, very bursty, great at initiating. So, obviously, there's strengths and weaknesses, but the thing that stood out the most for me right now is Team Liquid is not afraid to go back to Queen of Pain. They're like, we're confident in this hero, let's just run it again.
What do you think about a Skyrath pick here against Team Liquid for Monkey Business? I think it pairs up really well with Beastmaster and Tusk.
I think it would be really good. I like it.
Dual pick off.
Yeah.
The silence is amazing, obviously, against a lot of burst damage.
Even Tusk can help set up for the ulti with his ice shards,
Yeah, today when I was casting the Wings game in the Chinese qualifier, their opponent did actually open with Queen of Pain Ember, and they're like, well, Skyrath Mage, let's go. That was their answer to these 2 heroes, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you can go for even further control because you do have such a high damage support. Your other support can actually be a little bit more control oriented, which I think would be very favorable. So you could go something like the Bane, maybe even go for a defensive hero like the Dazzle. But yeah, I think that would be a really good pickup actually.
So does Monkey Business have versatility in how they run the Beastmaster, or do they prefer off lane versus mid? Is it kind of
Moon Meander has never played a Beastmaster.
He's never played the Beastmaster.
One of No-Tail's favorite heroes.
Really?
Well, I'm not saying he can't play the Beastmaster.
No, I know he can play it.
Professionally, he has not played it, at least on
That's interesting
Monkey
because
Business.
the Beastmaster equivalent, or well, pseudo-equivalent, that was like his hero in Heroes of North that he was known for, that was always respect banned against him. It's interesting to see how now he's just handed the reins over to No-Tail. It was a bit different, but still, I mean, Moon, before on this team, played Beastmaster quite a bit, like on the Complexity days and stuff. That was a pocket pick they'd pull out from time to time.
Well, I say never. Maybe I misread like one line of text, but if he does, it's just a rare play.
It might never on Monkey Business might be accurate, but
okay. So if I was gonna pick Skyrath Mage and if I was Monkey Business, I would not ban Winter Wyvern. I don't think. I think the hero is Skyrath Mage itself is amazing against Winter Wyvern, so I think it's a bit out. So we're looking at other cores that have a lot of lockdown, maybe, or other supports. Bane is very, very good against these. I also think Anti-Mage is still here.
If Monkey Business are thinking, you know what, Meepo worked against Quap last game, it's still in the pool, maybe we want to try it again, what are the ideal heroes Liquid could consider to try to deal with a Meepo pick if it comes out again?
They already have the Ember.
Is Ember the hero? Do you think that's enough?
Yeah, I don't think you pick Meepo into Ember.
Okay.
Just way too much damage output. And the lockdown against the Meepo, it's just...
All right.
Skyra or Ancient Apparition could be a good pick as well, because I know both of these teams do enjoy an Alchemist. And I think
that's true. Like preemptive.
A preemptive Ancient Apparition pick could like stop one of the teams. Then it'll maybe save you a ban.
I think AoE stuns would be a decent pickup for Team Liquid. I like the Witch Doctor. I'd also like to see the Witch Doctor from them. You offer, if you get a lot of control behind your supports, the Ember Spirit and Queen of Pain are so offensive, especially if you have that sort of like instant initiation that the Fisher offers you. And it's also particularly strong, I would say, up against heroes, especially Tusk, who is fairly easy to read, obviously. Like, he telegraphs who he's going to be going on, which is, I think, one of the reasons they banned away the Winter Wyvern. That the Beastmaster long duration stun and the Tusk, like the Winter Wyvern, I think counters both of them decently well.
Well, again, Monkey Business going to go with the Jakiro. A lot of pushing power with Jack and Beastmaster.
It would not surprise me if Monkey Business runs back the Jakiro once again. It's a hero that they tend to turn to quite a bit. Gives you the Orchid if possible. What's happening, Shane?
They picked it.
Sorry, I meant Nature's Prophet. Did I say Jakiro?
Yeah, you said Jakiro. So
my bad.
yeah, that's a bold prediction.
They'll turn to that here. No, NP is from the offlane from Moon Meander. Probably not going to go for that Aghanims into Octarine build, but
do you have to pick it if they pick Clockwork?
No, probably not now with the Clockwork available.
I mean, there are certain matchups, like if you get the Furion against the Clockwork, you can do really well because you have so many trees that it's hard for Battery Assault to do its damage. So I guess there's still some potential to see it.
Okay, what about Lycan? I really like Lycan against this team.
They have. Are you talking about on the side of Monkey Business?
Yes.
Yeah, because they have already a good amount of pushing power at the lockdown.
So you can just go hard on the pushing and.
And you can also lane against Clockwork for the same reason you said. You know, you have the Wolves to take the Battery Assault.
It feels like if the push does not work out, then you don't have any ways to deal with Quap and Ember. So
that's what I agree.
You're pretty much all in on that pushing plan.
Yeah, and the Clockwork's problematic for a Lycan as well.
Yeah.
But looking at extra pushing power behind your carry, I don't think is a bad idea.
I don't know how he got through.
Oh, yeah.
Is this a safe lane Shadow Fiend, or are we going to actually see Moon Meander playing the offlane Beastmaster now?
I think we are.
It feels pretty likely looking at this draft.
I mean, why would you ever say no to
Radiant
side mid SF?
I'm going to stat check that Beastmaster. Like, maybe I'm just totally wrong on this.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't run the stats beforehand. I always just think of Moon Meander and that hero. But that's partially of me living in the past, the Han days.
Okay, well, I mean, if you look at Team Liquid and the way they're viewing this, they actually do feel that it's like potentially, an SF. Either that or they think it's like the old Jakiro.
The core Jakiro?
Yeah, the core Jakiro.
Yeah. Well, I know Monkey Business do enjoy the fly Dazzle. It's like, especially paired up with Shadow Fiend, all that minus armor can be.
Do you think core Jakiro is at all viable now? I mean, the Yule's setup can still be annoying at the very least.
Yules get heavily nerfed with the cast range. I mean, that was kind of the initiating tool, so I probably do not think so.
Okay.
No Alchemist pick, yeah. I still think it's a pretty decent last pick for both teams. It pairs up well with Shadow Fiend, the minus armor.
I think Liquid probably need a harder support here.
No, Liquid definitely need a support, yeah. Well, they could play support with Clockwork. I've seen it before. It's not the worst.
I still like the Earthshaker's roaming potential against the SF. It's, I think the control still pairs really well.
I also still like the Ancient Apparition. I think it would deter a potential Alchemist pick as well as just help slow down the push, give you some good team fight as well. They've already got a lot of AoE damage that would kind of be the icing on the cake.
Clockwork off.
Oh, the supports are left. Rubik, I don't
Bane's
think
still
offers that much. Bane, yeah, Bane's alright.
It's actually very good if Monkey Business do it as well. You know, if the Shadow Fiend is mid and they do some sort of safe lane Beastmaster solo, which could be the case, they can roam really easily with Bane. You know, you just go in, you sleep someone, and the Shadow Fiend can get 2 raises off pretty easily.
There's still a Shadow Demon. Doesn't really combo well with Liquid, but it's okay defensively against like the Beastmaster Roar, for example.
It's very good against Beastmaster Roar, yeah. That's true.
It doesn't really feel like a great kind of final pick to their roster.
I need a hero map. All I can think of is just like Shadow Demon, Disruptor, and I'm just like, I don't like any of those heroes.
Crystal Maiden. Interesting.
Okay, so the Crystal Maiden actually provides some potential help to the Queen of Pain because it's a jungler that can actually stay close. If you farm up the safe lane,
especially on Dire side.
Yeah, and you pull that over closer to the mid lane, you frostbite it, you're actually pretty close to the mid lane.
It's pretty good against the Boar and Beastmaster. You can freeze it and just completely shut it down.
It's a good team to have the aura on as well. Every hero really benefits from that extra mana. So it will help their laning stage.
She has a lot of potential for big freezing fields. I think her teammates gonna protect her with things like cogs and whatnot, but Juggernaut last pick up here.
All
I
right.
was really like second guessing.
It's the Moon Meander Beastmaster.
All my thoughts about Monkey
It
Business.
is the first time in 6.85.
Well, I'm glad I brought it up
Yeah.
then. I thought I
Yeah,
was
that's nice.
like, wow, okay, I'm living in the past, but that's interesting. So Monkey Business showing some of their diversity. Jug, final pick. Hell, gives them a little bit of healing, a little bit more team fight as well. We need quick predictions here, though, guys. Let's start with Shane this time. What are you thinking here in Game 2?
I think if Monkey Business get a good lead, they can push and secure like every other tower, and I think Liquid won't be able to do that. So I'm gonna go with Monkey Business.
Lumi?
I think there's too much pressure for Beastmaster to keep both Queen and Ember down. As such, I think I'm gonna go with Team Liquid. I think the cores are just too hard to shut down.
All right, calling to Game 3.
I'm going to go with Team Liquid as well and feel like this matchup is going to be made in its aggression. Game 1, I think, was just so one-sided, but a lot of this game is going to be determined by the offlaners, and I feel like the offlane clockwork will do the most in this game.
All right, well, I'm going to disagree on that front. I'm rooting for this Moon Meander Beastmaster to do some work. We'll see if he can live up to the old Han reputation. With that, we're going to hand it over to the casters for game number 2. We've got Toby and Blitz coming up.
Welcome back, everybody, here to game number 2, Monkey versus Team Liquid. I would ask who you're actually favoring in this game, but considering Shane already said he wanted to go for Monkeys in Cap 1 Liquid, I'm assuming you're going to enjoy the Monkeys lineup a little bit more.
My boy Shane,
Yeah.
#1 right.
Do you actually agree with it, though? Do you actually think that the Monkeys lineup, the pressure is enough from them to force Liquid into a rough position?
I mean, I think that Shane is probably the best mechanical player on that couch, so I'd agree with him. He actually understands what he's talking about. Quote-unquote analyst desk. we'll put those in air quotes.
All right, let's look to our game, man, because I'm looking at this and listening to the analysts quote.
All right, no. I'm going to give you a serious. I'm going to give you a serious.
But please give me a serious
Okay.
answer right now, because I'm concerned myself that I'm not agreeing with the panel, because I'm looking at Liquid with Ember and Queen of Pain having trouble finding space to come online. If they come online, I agree. Like, Liquid should be looking really damn good. But Monkey can add so much pressure so early on if they get that early mech on the SF, and then add a healing ward, and then the aura and Liquid Fire, they could do a lot of damage, from my perspective.
I think that's actually what they're going to go for. I don't see how the Jug fits into this lineup, aside from just the healing ward, because his ultimate, when you look at it bare bones, isn't going to do much against either the cores of Liquid. And when it comes to the late game, that's what matters, core on core action, like which core can deal more damage. And I think the Queen of Pain and the Ember Spirit are going to have more success in that regard. So what it really comes down for Monkey Business is, can you get the ball rolling quickly? Can you get the mech really quick on the Shadow Fiend and then kind of play that 5-man style, where you don't have the best control factor, but you can kind of heal through whatever Liquid have for burst. Like, if you look at Liquid's lineup, the one thing they're really bad at is creep clear. Like, you don't want to commit the Queen of Pain ulti just to creep clear, but that's about all you have. Like, the level 2 or 3 Sleight of Fist without any damage items behind it it's kind of useless.
Maybe that's when you look for like a higher point up in Nova early on.
Yeah, but even then, that's not perfect. And so
Yeah.
I think if Monkey Business can just kind of get the ball rolling
Top lane, shots, doesn't lock Matumberman in. I was actually expecting a snowball into some kind of extra control on Matumberman, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, they just use shards. Like, he can't have snowball as well.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, because he didn't level up.
I'm just
Obviously not level
messing
2
with you,
yet.
Toby.
Thanks, Blitz. You know my brain just basically pooped before we start this game.
I gotta kind of give you, keep you on your toes for fun.
That's fine. Just don't give me the same level of crap that you give Cap, and I'm all good.
Love. That's love.
That's a very rough love, man.
All right. So this top lane though, it should be kind of a wash. It seems like they really favor doing the dual lanes like this. It kind of reminds me of what NIP like to do, but it feels like Monkey's a little bit more fluid in what they do. Like, they're willing
mind
to take
control?
this.
You're taking a lot of damage from this man. He's going to cogs burn off crit, but that's not really what stops Jakira from doing his work. He actually ended up in a man fight with him, but only had cogs leveled up.
It's okay, because the creep wave is going to push out anyways, and he's just making it tough for crit to get in his face. You set the tempo of the game.
Okay.
And he's gonna get a full wave anyways right here.
Just also want to flag something else that happened. This actually happened before we even hit the 0-minute mark. Is the fact that the Observer Ward on the top lane, which was planted by Monkeys, it was de-warded very early on for this dire Sentry Ward that was planted. And Liquid actually put that Sentry Ward inside the camp, so they still blocked the own pull point. Fade up, middle lane. Can he actually do another one? No, he can't. Miracle will end up surviving. Death's back behind the tower. Now his bottle will arrive. And even the pressure on bottom lane between...
Oh, mid lane.
Are they going again?
Miracle God. Have mercy.
And that bottle arrived and then he just went for it with the help of Fly.
I don't even know if Fly obviously helped, but that double raise by Miracle is pretty disgusting. And this is a lane that Queen of Pain will win early on, Toby, but she falls off hard because the defensive power of the SF is incredibly strong. Like, all you do is you spam out raises. If she gets hit by one raise, can no longer man fight the Shadow Fiend. So it's pretty important.
So what do you do? Like, you want to push Fada out of the mid lane to find some space elsewhere?
If you're the Shadow Fiend, you just continue to play passive. You got first blood and you solo killed, well, not solo killed, but you got a kill on the Queen of Pain. Fada pretty much has to get a gank or he has to get active on the other side of the map because when it comes to last hitting now, there's no way that the Queen of Pain is going to keep up anymore.
Well, that is the beauty about like a Queen of Pain. Like, it's all about rotation. Matumbaman, top lane. The Shard's making it so we have to walk a long way around. The snowball control is going to be enough. The Searing Chain's not working perfectly. Sorry, the Sleight of Fist.
They want to keep going.
Yeah, he had nothing to evade. And now Jirax
there's no juking
is caught in the tree line. The Hawk is up there. She cut through the trees with the axes. And this is 3-0. This could be a very, like, it was 2-0 to Liquid last time these teams faced up. Now it's looking very, very different.
These kind of off-the-wall lanes are messing with Liquid so much. Like, Matumba Man typically doesn't get pressured in any of the games. And it really feels like Monkey Business kind of just have the blueprint right now. They're saying, okay, we got 2-0 last time. We didn't apply a lot of pressure to Matumba Man. This time, we're going to run these dual lanes, take him out of his comfort zone, and make him work for it.
And they're giving a crack at top lane. Moon Meander should actually die here with both Malediction and the burn. He turns around to do as much damage to Jirax as possible, and this will allow for the snowball to arrive with a double stun into the shards. Matumba now, he doesn't have much more to work with. Searing Chains is now coming off cooldown, which will end up helping him out. Clockwork also got a kill on Jakiro in the meantime.
That is a surprise.
He actually got a, well, yeah. Inside the Radiant jungle, he caught him out.
That's going to help a lot, and it's going to alleviate some of the pressure from this top lane. Just because the support in this dual lane scenario, when he's trying to protect No-Tail, can't afford to die.
This may not, okay, yeah. Kuro's going to come over and buy him a little bit more space here. But that's a full creep wave, and the snowball committal comes in from Fly. He was already salving up, he's got a lot of his life back, and the axe is back off cooldown. That's a level 2 axe, and Matumba being slowed down by the ball, but they want to get Kuro. He's more of a guaranteed kill here. If they can just get one axes and then just one physical attack in on Kuro, that'll do the work. There's a physical attack. The mind control rotates before he's level 6. The Paladin cast won't bounce, but the battery assault Mumiana turns for the axes.
Oh, no.
He gets the kill before the end. I'm surprised Kuro is stuck around for that. So it'll end up being a 1-1 trade-off, and you rotate the Clockwork early.
They wanted to absolutely secure that kill, but this is so unfortunate. And I mean, Miracle, he's doing what we talked about.
Yeah.
Unable to really get control in this mid lane. Fada can't really do too much, but Miracle's just getting pinged out. They're saying watch out a little bit. This dual off lane, Toby, is making it impossible for this Queen of Pain to do anything. Like, she can't rotate to the safe lane to get any kills. There's too many levels now. And in this mid lane, if she actually leaves, you're giving up almost too much space to Miracle.
Yeah.
And I think he even goes for the kill on the Queen or the Crystal Maiden in the jungle. Like, if I were him, just go kill, double raise. Very simple, and Crow probably doesn't see this coming at all.
No. And like how can you? SF goes missing. And now Miracle, raise one attack, and then a second, which will give him the max range raise. If you stick around a little bit longer, actually, they're going on bottom lane. Yep, they're in pretty deep here. As there's your Sonic Wave, No-Tail so low in life, the one-shots will not keep him alive. And that's part of successful rotation. That's exactly what he wanted. Crit, however, this isn't what he wants.
Oh, they know.
The Rocket ends up revealing him. He doesn't have a TP skull on
Fada's
himself.
stuck.
Oh, wait, okay, yeah, Fada's going to come back out with a blink. But because he blinked, the mana is pretty low. Bottle charging up, and there we go. Mind Control will end up taking the kill. And there's some good kills coming back in the way of Liquid. But it's still a very big SF.
Yeah, and probably more problematic is, like you talked about, the Shadow Fiend is getting free farm during this entire time, but...
They're getting top? They're getting top. Paralyzing Cast helps it out. Well, okay. Snowball buying that critical time, and Crit puts down Ice Path. He goes for Liquid Fire too, and the dual breath has to be used here, but it's all a little bit too late. The Ice Path at the wrong position for the Snowball, so it didn't buy enough space for Fly to get back out. At the same time, I'm watching Moon Meander prepare for mid lane.
This is huge for Liquid right now, though. They're finally starting to get some control back into the lanes, and mind control with these rotations, he can make this happen.
He found Moon Meander. He meant to go for the SF, but he locks Moon Meander inside the cogs, but that's not what you want to have. Miracle just turns in for a couple of raids, but Topperman, that's what you do want to have. The Searing Chains on Miracle. He turns for one last raid.
They're probably going to get
realizing he's going to die. The shards will fly out, but it's not enough for block. Moon Meander has still one chance available, but the damage output from Liquid is still there with rotation in from Fada. They ensure the 2 kills on Beastmaster and SF. That's the bigger thing. They've stopped SF in his tracks.
Yeah, this was such a huge rotation by Liquid, and this is all made possible by Mind Control being able to pick off heroes left and right. He was 4-1. He has his level 6 early enough to go for that, and unfortunately he dies before that point, but it's a worthwhile sacrifice because now Fada's in a much better position than he was 2 minutes ago. Like, he rotates, gets 2 kills at the bottom lane for his team, and then at the same time, they finally take down the Shadow Fiend. This is going to slow down the snowball effect that we were starting to see early on, and it's going to help Fada catch up because now he doesn't feel as pressured to have to win this lane because the rotations have paid off.
The only downside for Fada, though, is he didn't actually get the kills. He got 5 assists out of his rotation, so he never actually got the last hit, never got the heavier injection of money.
It's okay, though, because look how poor Crit is right now. Like, from a support standpoint, Liquid is actually doing okay, whereas one of Monkey's supports, because of that solo kill that Mind Control was able to get off on Crit, now you're starting to see the far-reaching effects later on in the game where 8 minutes in, he's got 400 net worth.
Goodbye, SF.
Once again.
The dream at the mech is not real, but while all this is going on, okay, well, bottom lane, Chris being attacked by Matubberman. He's still got the Ice Path available. It's going to actually tag into Matubberman. He tries to juke it around inside the tree line. Can't reach it in time. Matubberman will just back up, but where I was going to point out direction is up towards the top lane. Because there's Notel as well as Moon Meander teaming up together. They'll take this top tier 1 tower, but what is the cost? The Omni Slash goes to work, taking out Kuro. And with the healing ward still up, they have a little bit more life, but not enough for Notel to survive. So you take the tier 1 tower, but you're losing out quite heavily. The Ember Spirit's barely surviving. These Harpies are chasing him down. Help with the damage, and he's actually going to TP himself out. There's no snowball, there's no shards. So they'll get away with it.
The pace of the game right now, Liquid, Monkey's having a really hard time dealing with it right now, and they're going to rotate another hero mid. It's going to be Curl with the Frostbites, but can't really do too much. Getting the kill onto the Queen of Pain was quite lucky for Notel. Like, if you saw, he was in the middle of 3 different heroes, and it just happens to bounce to him twice. Like, that could have conceivably been 1 for 0, you get the carry, and Notel's actually really underfarmed right now. He barely has more than the Ember Spirit, who is really heavily contested right now, and you need your Jug to be able to snowball. And right now, they were able to get another kill onto the Shadow Fiend, which is going to slow down the mech further and just kind of give Liquid a little bit of breathing room and allow Mind Control to kind of set the pace of the game. Like, this is the ideal scenario. Let your Clockwork get levels and farm, and then allow him to kind of just make the movements around the map and create space for all the other cores. And you're seeing that be really successful right now so far.
I'm actually wondering if Monkeys can even push before they get the mech. Because you do still have Liquid Fire, so finding near the towers isn't as bad. But they kind of need to know where the rest of Liquid is moving. If you check out their vision at the moment, the Hawks are coming out, but Kuro's been doing a pretty damn good job of just novering them down whenever he feels like he knows where they are. And the only Obs Ward on the field for Monkeys is the Obs Ward on the top of the mid lane Dire side. So they don't see Liquid moving into the Radiant jungle. They won't see it when they're smoked up like we are now with Kuro and Mind Control. They're searching for the SF stacks which just don't exist.
Yeah, the Shadow Fiend had a great time in mid, and he also got that gank off on the Crystal Maiden. Like, he's been using a lot of his time to just go around the map and create space for his team. But you'd like to see Miracle have a little bit more farm, especially considering that he got the solo, or the...
Hook shot goes in middle lane, catching out Miracle. He's still got 14 one charge. Snowball buys a little bit of space here, but it won't be enough. Not when Matubberman jumps through on the back of the Spirits. They take 2 very quick kills, but Notel goes into the spin. Fada, the blink is up, cooldown. He takes a long time. Now you'll finally get out, but the Omni Slash is available, jumping around, but it's too late. You only get a kill on a Clockwork. But you lose 3 heroes for this one. So close to killing off Fada, which would have made this a little bit of an even trade. But still, Liquid getting another advantage in a team fight again.
I think even if you kill Fada there, that isn't worth it at all. You lose 2 cores. Notel decides to spin in, but it's a Queen of Pain. You have no idea when her blink's up. That's way too YOLO of a maneuver, and you can't really afford to throw these kills away because he's already died twice, and he's been struggling this game. This is just going to set him back even further.
Yep.
And Fada is just starting to snowball, as is the Ember Spirit, who's the recipient of most of these kills like you talked about. Like, yeah, Fada isn't getting a lot of these last hits, but he's got 9 assists, and Matumba Man already has 5 kills to his name.
Yep. You called it perfectly before, man. Mind Control is the man that's making this happen. When you lock down the SF, so there's no Requiem of Souls, and even Miracle, he's having a real hard time getting these souls back. And Monkey's adding as much pressure as they possibly can now to this mid lane. And I'm actually fully for this. You've still got Omni Slash available. You make the most of Liquid Fire. Try and restrict the movement of Liquid, because right now Liquid are moving like they own this map. The snowball will come, and where are you actually headed to? It's after the Ember Spirit, who just jumped back out to Defensive Spirit.
They're just trying to waste time right now, and I think Liquid actually want to take this fight because they understand that the mech still isn't available. The healing ward is down too, and he actually snipes 2 hawks, 2 birds with 1 rocket.
And they get the Necro units too.
Oh, they got to be careful right now. They're pretty stacked up.
Ice Pass only going to hit onto Matumba though. And that Tier 1 tower is just outside of deny range. So one last push from Monkey. They'll take this out. Liquid will attempt the denial. But Liquid also understand that Notel's pushed back here. Like, he's waiting for this creep camp to spawn up at the moment, but the Dire Observer Ward, he's right on top of it. So Liquid know that Monkeys aren't in the greatest position to push this. But here we go again with the Liquid Fire. No fortification available. The Shard's trying to keep them out, and the denial will be there from the Jakiro. Sorry, the attack will be there from the Jakiro. The Liquid Fire tick is what gets the last hit.
They've got to be careful right now. Liquid, they don't want to throw away the lead that they just built up. They've got a lot of map control right now because of the Clockwork having the levels that he does. But Monkey can just decide to go for all of these 5-man pushes. Like, the mech's almost completed from the Shadow Fiend. Liquid's still doing okay though. Like, their 2 main cores are still really farmed, and it's a Beastmaster that's ahead of the Juggernaut right now, which isn't something you want to see. And they've got a lot of different ways to deal with the Jug. Like, if he attempts to try to spin TP out, then you can always initiate with the Clock Hook. And you've got so much mobility in your 2 cores, in the Queen of Pain and the Ember Spirit, that you're not going to see a lot of the damage that you want out of No-Tail's ultimate. So what it really comes down to is being able to smoke snowball into the mid game really strongly.
Liquid are coming again. Like, they keep preparing themselves up on this high ground inside the Radiant jungle. Every time just up on the hillside. Now, Jurek's going to get scouted out by the Hawk. He can't get it with another attack, so he throws the cask instead.
What they're trying to do is force them to go to that bottom tower. Like, Matumba Man, if you notice, he's pressuring this, and they're hoping to pincer Monkey in.
No, but the Rocket sees everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Mind Control just reads the situation perfectly. They understand this is a bait from Monkey. But I suppose, like, it's still forcing Liquid to come into the fight. Like, you have the mech fully done. You've got Raw and Necro books available. Omni Slash, there's not enough mana for it at the moment, but he's got 13 one-charges available. Now he's actually got the mana. But this Tier 2 tower's still being brought down. They catch out Jirax. The snowball into this. No Witch Doctor in this fight, but the TPs, they're coming in. No-Tail's trying to 9 off, and actually successful at doing so. This will strand the Ember Spirit on the bottom lane, allowing for the Omni Slash forward into Fada. So it'll be a Tier 2 tower lost in the mid. No way for the Ember to come back to the fight. And Liquid just have to accept the fact they lose this Tier 2 tower.
That conceivably could have been an okay fight, but the Ember Spirit gets his TP cancelled by the Juggernaut, and he doesn't want to commit for it anyways. You're going to take the bottom Tier 1 tower at the same time, but still, giving up that Tier 2 just means that Monkey Business are going to kind of feel emboldened and continue to just go for the 5-man, and this is what we were concerned about in the first place.
Yep.
Is that No-Tail's hero isn't going to be there to deal damage. It's pretty much just to be a frontline tank and for the healing ward. Like, you see him prioritize it. It's already 3 levels, it's just level 9. No stats on this guy. And when it comes to the farm, he doesn't have a lot, and he should get behind versus the Ember Spirit, but that's not really the point of this lineup. Like, the point of this lineup is not to really have a true 1 position.
Yeah.
That designation probably goes to Miracle, but even he's just gone for the mech. Probably going to get a BKB soon after.
See, my concerns are still there too. Like, I'm not feeling like Matumba's doing enough during this fight, and this Queen of Pain hasn't finished up the Orchid yet, so... Like, you talk about the problem with the Juggernaut not really being there, but I'm not feeling like Liquid are there at the fight either.
No, I was talking about the Ember.
Oh, you were? Okay, so you're talking about that. Okay.
I just meant that the Jug isn't going to contribute anything to the fights. Like, when it comes to DPS, it's just this healing ward that's meant to keep these pushes sustained.
Okay.
And Miracle's got the mech too, just for any of the burst damage. So this is a really intelligent lineup by Monkeys right now. And I think you just go for the Tier 1 bottom and then go for the Roshan immediately thereafter. Like, get an Aegis onto your Shadow Fiend, then you can play incredibly aggressively.
And they're so ready for this too. Another smoke movement. They're coming down. Positional advantage will be here because Kuro is currently making a bit of a run across the river.
So dead.
Now, they saw him run. And the Ember Spirit is also just jumping around inside the Radiant jungle, farming this up. Puts the defensive Spirit out, so Matumbaman shouldn't die here unless Monkeys break right. But with the blink forward from Fada, okay, that is a long cooldown, but he's got a haster in. He runs all the way into the tier 1 tower. They can Walrus punch him up, and with the razors they can get enough damage in time. It was actually the attack from the tower which did the last hit, but with no Queen of Pain, the ping instantly came from Monkeys to go for Roshan. I'm not so sure about that.
I don't think you do. They've got rockets. You don't have the best way to do it immediately. I guess the healing ward could keep it up, but you don't really want to fight into that vacuum when you've got Clockwork, an Ember Spirit, and a Queen of Pain on the other side.
Yeah, if that,
and
if that
Witch
cog
Doctor
splits you and...
Yeah, exactly. Just go for the safe pushes. You've been doing fine right now if you're Team Monkey.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing. Attack into the tier 1 tower. There's no fortification, so nothing's really going to stop them. They can take both the tier 1 and the tier 2 tower. You still got Moon Meander here. Is he waiting for the Courier to deliver him? What level book is it? Level 2 book now arrived. So this tier 2 tower is toast. They try for the trade, but Fly is here to stop that push in the mid lane. And up on top lane, Matumbaman is pushing towards that tier 1 tower, but he's also like, even if you do take this tier 1 tower, it's a tier 1 and 2 trade-off for what was the pick on the Quap and a tier 1, tier 2 on bottom lane. And N0tail's already TPing in very aggressively the front lines, and he wants to stop Matumbaman, but he's got no stun. So just has to let him go.
He could use the ulti there for the mini stun, but I don't think it's worth it. Like that probably would have been only to cancel the TP, and that alone isn't worth it.
I thought they removed that. I shouldn't question. Never mind. Because I'm not sure about that. Oh, I'm getting thumbs up. Yeah, they removed the mini stun.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Thumbs up. I thought the only thing they changed was the F-Blade.
Matumbaman's in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
Okay, N0tail trying to keep up with it. Miracle's in the neighborhood, but Matumbaman's got no spirits left. So he knows he's dead. The Ice Path will connect, and Miracle with one raise. He got the Flame Gun up in time. With a Snowball, they commit. They want this Ember Spirit dead. And they will be able to take it.
That's fine, though. He solo kills the Juggernaut, and you have to force 4 heroes to rotate over. This is going to allow Fada to just continue to farm a little bit more.
And that'll finally bring in this Orchid of his.
Yeah, like that was a fine trade. Like he puts a lot of pressure, he forces a bunch of heroes over, and he solo kills N0tail. That's well worth it for Matumbaman.
Yep.
You reveal where all 5 heroes are at the same time, so Fada's just going to push this bottom area. Unfortunately, the Hawk's right there, but he's probably going to get in range and scream it. Yep.
I'm a little concerned, though, what's still going to happen. Like, so Fada's finding himself some kill potential. But at the same time, I'm looking at a support Jakiro, who is getting very, very close to finishing his Yule Scepter. And once this is up, the Ember Spirit's having a world of hurt, because the Flame Guard just gets dispelled by the Yules. You get Ice Pathed up as well, without the ability to jump out, because it's the instant stun. So, what do you really do when you have, like, either Ember or Queen of Pain taken out of the fight that quick?
I mean, it's fine. He can still get in and out. The mobility of the hero is still really strong as long as he doesn't get roared. And with Sleight of Fist and his ultimate up, he should be fine.
Oh, that Spirit. Matumba, do you want to do it? Do you want to do it? 600 Sleight of Fist in. The Ice Path actually stops him. He could have Spirit jumped in, but had no instant way out. But the Ice Path from Crit makes sure it's not possible.
That would have been so risky anyways. I don't think you put the game on that. Liquid aren't that far behind. They're about 4K. That's not desperation territory quite yet, where you have to go for those plays. Maybe if it was 15-20, yeah.
This fight's really going to be difficult, though. Like, you got a BKB freshly on this SF. The Aegis, the Immortal, and Mech on him. Even a haste for him for positioning during the fight. But beyond that, you got the sustain from Healing Ward, you got the sustain from Mech, and you got the Liquid Fire on top of the tier 3 tower. So this push really is quite easy for them. Their only problem is the fact that Jakiro's not there yet. He's still back at the riverside. And now Miracle? Okay, that's early from Jirax.
Yeah, that's probably going to just prompt them to go for the high ground. They know that
unless that's the plan.
Pretty significant damage. Like, all that does is force out a Mech and the Healing Ward that was going to go down anyways. Just keep going for the push. Like, this is where the Juggernaut's strong. You're not going to keep up when it comes to farm.
Oh, they forced off him up mind control. He's there on the front lines, and Miracle BKB winds up the ulti with the double Ice Path. into the Omni Slash as well. Liquid have lost 2 right now, and Fada roared up as well. They move back over, looking for the crit hit, and you do have Fada down low in the ice path again with the macro pyre. Liquid, they are burning at the moment. At least you get that side of fist damage. And Kuro, a double kill, almost able to find crit with the help there of Jirax. Miracle is still alive after the Aegis. He brings it back up. He's the last man standing. The Crystal Maiden actually turning the fight around for Liquid, who just did it.
Oh, I can't even believe that Kuro does that. Like, that ultimate. My lord.
God, can we see that again in slow motion? I would love to see that again in slow motion.
Look at the XP change. Just gains casual 2K XP. And if you look at the fight recap for damage, 2,000 damage came out of the Crystal Maiden in that fight. More than the Queen of Pain, just slightly under the Ember Spirit, who got like 3 Sleight of Fists off. That was so absurd.
That just saved the game for Liquid. It really, like...
A 5-man wipe? I think it does okay for them.
It does pretty damn good, man. But still, that I still want to give massive props to Crit. Like, Ice Path after Ice Path, that perfect macro pyre, it did all the work, but they just seemed to run out of disables at that point.
That was a pure support duel. Like, the Jakiro did so much in that fight, being able to set it up. Fada had to use the buyback, if I'm not mistaken there.
You are not mistaken. They actually had 2 buybacks, both Kuro as well as Fada bought back. And yeah, here it is. Here it is. Just watch it. It's so good.
I had no idea it was going to do that much.
Now,
Like, this was
they
so
actually
absurd.
dropped so low, and then that Sleight of Fist damage, because they were
Here we
all
go.
gripped up. So the Battle Fury actually got so much cleave, and Kuro just puts the chilling ice on the cake.
Well done by Liquid, being able to hold that. And this is all you have to do. Slow down the timing of Monkey, and Monkey's Monkey Business is going to feel a little bit afraid now, because they went for that push with the Aegis, and they weren't quite able to break racks. And that's going to be a little bit disconcerting, but they're just going to smoke up. They know that a lot of buybacks are on cooldown, and they just have to kind of make sure that the Crystal Maiden doesn't get a full duration ultimate off again, and that's going to be a much easier task when you know, as a result of that last fight, okay, that has to be some concern for us. Like, we have to pay attention to that.
I would still also be very careful about their grouping. Like, you saw it on the replay. There were 4 heroes from Monkey all grouped up together, and they all got cleaved from that Battle Fury of Matumba. So when he went for the Sleight of Fist, that was what did most of the damage before Kuro then just finished the job. It was definitely Star Place. He definitely did a crap ton of damage at the end. But, yeah, I'd also look for the spacing of Monkey a little bit more. And they are going to fall back.
Yeah, they got incredibly overeager. After they got the kill, they're just like, okay, let's just keep going. They probably were just like, oh, we're going to 2-0 them. Here's the game. We're going to wipe out 3 heroes, go for the push. Unable to do so. And I mean, Matumba Man just continues to harass this bottom lane. And he just harangues Monkey right now. Like, it's so difficult for them to go for that 5-man push when you know the Ember Spirit's getting a lot out of farm during the time that you're doing that. And once he comes back into the fights, he just Sleight of Fist, Sleight of Fist, Sleight of Fist, ends your push. Like, he's got enough farm to do that now.
What do you think about Miracle's progression for items? So he's going to go into the S and Y build. Like, I know this was pretty favorable at the end of last patch, where we saw a lot of like 32-minute S and Ys coming out from all regions, in fact. But is this the game where you want to be looking at this?
Radiant's top tower is under
I just
attack.
think that the...
Radiant
If you go for
structures
Scotty
are
or something like that, or a
fortified.
I think
Butterfly,
Miracle's dead, actually.
it comes in too late.
Mind Control is right on top of him with an Invis rune, and
They don't have enough heroes, though. You need the Queen of Pain or
Radiant's
the
top
Ember Spirit if you
tower
want to
has
do this.
fallen.
Yeah,
I
they
think
have-
Mind Control's just going to trail him.
they had Kuro and Jirax moving in for it, though. Now it's top lane, Glimmer Cape in, and they're looking for Matumba. Snowball, well, it'll turn around. And that scouts out Fada, but Matumba's already TPing himself away to safety, and Fada blinked himself far enough away.
If you're Liquid right now, the game plan is just delay, 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 and eventually hope that the Ember gets so strong that if they decide to go for a push, it's going to be counterproductive. And all of a sudden, this is like the sneakiest Aghanim Scepter I've ever seen on a Witch Doctor. Like, I don't understand how he did it, but he's level 13 with an Ags. Like, we talked about Jerax being a slow starter, and in that last game, it took him like 35 minutes to get to level 6. I don't even know if he got it by the end of that last game, but this time around, he does have the Aghanim Scepter on the Witch Doctor. This might be one of the best support upgrades that you can possibly get. Like, this one item pretty much turns him into a core for the next 5 minutes.
It almost changes Monkey's approach to the fight as well. Now this Blink Dagger, which is what I'm assuming Moomian is trying to build in towards. Okay, Necro units goes for the Raw. Access to clean the path up. He needs to burn a lot of mana right now. The Spirit Jump will happen, but okay. Solo kill fail on bottom lane. Matumba's away to safety.
They just continue to waste time. Matumba Man understands that if the Beastmaster's there, the rest of the team's probably nearby. So just go for the split push, wait things out, continue to farm, and make it so that Monkey Business feel like they have to go for the 5-man. And by doing so, he's just going to get further and further ahead of the Juggernaut, who starts to kind of become a non-factor against these cores. He only has an SNY, no Basher, no Scotty. He's not really a huge threat to you just yet.
TP's coming up to top. No-Tail instantly into the spin. Matumbaman hanging around a little bit longer, but he's hanging around as long as he had the creep wave, and that helps him finish his Crystallis. I'm not as certain about this from Beastmaster. Like, this almost makes me think the Monkeys don't want to try and win the game within the next 10 minutes, so they're holding back on the push because he built BTs, not the Blink Dagger.
I think it's the other way around. I think this is just to deal with the Amber Spirit so he can't continue to split push you, so that you can go for these side pushes, the side lane pushes.
And then just join the rest of your team.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can see that too just because No-Tail has the Blink Dagger. Now, this is not supposed to be a late game item. This is meant to be positioning at its best. Just try to get a good Omni Slash wherever I can. Follow through with it if you can too. I believe you can blink during it. I don't actually build it very often. I'm almost 100% sure that you can use items though.
You mean blink during Omni?
Yeah.
I don't know myself.
I think you can do shorts, but I'm not sure.
This Blink Dagger timing though is like, we've been seeing a decent chunk of Juggernaut throughout the qualifiers, and this has been around the right time for it.
Yeah.
So it's become more of a standard item.
I'm so sorry that I'm bad with mechanics, by the way. Like, I apologize to all the viewers that I didn't know the mini something. I'm so bad at the patch log stuff.
Don't worry, man.
It's my weak point.
I would say I cut you back a bit.
No, the fact that you had to correct me for that last one, it kind of just like...
I'm sorry, man.
Oh, this is a kill for sure at bottom, though.
They go for
oh,
the side
he's
fist.
got it! That timing on that sleight of fist. Matumba got...
He just wanted to take, Monkeys needed a fraction of a second longer to get in range for Moomy and his Raw.
He didn't even mean to do that. He's just like, oh, I'm going to slide a fist. Once that Glimmer Cape ends, he just sees the tail end of it.
But Monkeys would have also been expecting that. There's a slide of fist and then straight Spirit away. Like, you push the lane. That's all he's trying to do right now. Because it buys still so much more space. Again, look at Fada. He doesn't go for the BKB. He goes for the Scythe of Vice instead. They're going for the straight control burst.
I like that a lot. They're just, and all of their items so far are just pure late game damage. Like, you can deal with so many different heroes with what Liquid have right now, and Monkey is probably just waiting for the next Roshan. Like, that's definitely what they're waiting for right now.
But they're waiting the maximum time. That's the max 3 minutes to do Roshan.
Yeah. If you're confused as a viewer, by the way, what the game plan right now for Liquid is, they know that eventually Monkey Business is going to run out of steam. So what they're doing is they're prepping for that one fight where they're just so overwhelmingly strong when it comes to net worth and items. And so then Monkey just kind of loses steam and then they just lose the game. And it looks like it's still up for grabs. Like, Fada is debating between the Lincolns and the Hex. I think he wants the Lincolns just so he doesn't have to worry about the Jakiro or the Beastmaster. But the Hex would be so good.
But he still has to worry about the Beastmaster. Like, that Raw's still going to penetrate the Lincolns. Unfailed. No? Doesn't? Okay.
No, that one I know for sure.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it didn't actually trigger it. Like, you still get stunned up. You don't take the damage, though. But that was in the back of my mind. Yeah, okay. I'm leaving mechanics alone. I'm pulling out of this one.
We're both idiots. It's whatever. We're going to be irrelevant once OD Pixel gets better at this game anyways.
Yeah.
Let's just, you know.
I'm already planning my retirement. Like, TI6, last big event for me.
Yeah, let's just relax. Take it easy a little bit. It's not like we get paid to know this stuff.
No, I'm gonna retire and just make Nature's Prophet Guide videos all day.
Very good, very
That's
good.
it.
I'm embarrassed though about my lack of like mechanical knowledge this game. This was pretty bad.
We actually lost our paddle. Our paddle got outside to listen to the game.
They were disgusted, but the pace of this game again, Monkey Business, it's not to their liking because that should have been the Rax push for sure when you had the Aegis the first time. But because of that Crystal Maiden ultimate, you delay the game even further. Monkey Business don't really want to have to play the pace of the game by that Aegis.
They actually look like they just want to force it now, which is surprising when Crit uses his macro pyre to push out the wave. Like, I know it's like a 1 minute cooldown, but they want to push on this wave.
No, I think you wait for the Roshan. There's no reason not to.
Is that it?
Yeah. It's about to be, yeah.
Roshan is in 2 to 3 seconds, and he's still got all those problems you were listing like 20 minutes ago about how Liquid can counter the attack on Roshan. And with the Spirit in here, it's not necessarily like you can take care of the Spirit. The Spirit will survive.
Yeah, they're going to know about it too.
Yeah.
Spirit should spot this out. Liquid, I think you take this fight.
Okay, the Spirit just timed out. So they've lost their vision inside the pit until the rocket then arrives, and when someone throws in a new Spirit, And the spins actually used very early here by Notel into the death ward
that
from
death
Jirax,
ward.
and they're bouncing up with mind control. He hook-shotted himself into a ball, so he doesn't find the proper initiation, and Fana, at a long way, uses the Orchid on Moon Meander. Now, Roshan's a little bit pissed. There's a
this is
lot of
such
people
an
on his
awkward
lawn
fight
right now, and Roshan's about to die. There's no death ward in the shards. It keeps out Liquid. So Monkey, they can take Roshan. They get the Aegis symbol on the back of Miracle. He never even had to use the mech. They never used Omni Slash. The only thing really expended was Necrobok.
That was 100% a little bit sloppy by them. They decided to go for the fight, and I think you go for the contest there because of the close quarter space. The Amber Spear can do a lot of work. The Queen of Pain can do a lot of work. But the Clockwork Hook actually hits
The ball.
a boar or one of the Necro Creeps.
It was the ball.
Yeah, and that just kind of stops the momentum entirely. And now this push is going to be a lot stronger. Miracle's just going to frontline, and Liquid, they don't have to glyph for that range one, but you don't necessarily want to give up this melee one if you can help it. But how do you really take down Miracle? He's really tanky right now.
And he is that frontline tank. Now the Meg Charge can be used as crits a little bit lower. But Fada, they just keep trying to chip away at him. The paralyzing count's causing problems with Fada. Caught out by the Ice Path. They can't capitalize on the damage, however.
The Death Ward, or the Healing Ward's about to go down too.
Yeah. They get it back out. They take out the range tracks. I also like this from Monkeys. They did this in game number 1, where they understand they don't really have the full power, so they don't just go for the melee racks, they go for the guaranteed damage on the range. But they're actually hanging around. You didn't burn a BKB, did you? So, like...
You still got to be careful though, even with the Aegis. It's the Healing Ward plus the mech that allows you to continue the push, because you don't want to just give up the Aegis for no reason. So you wait 15 seconds from No-Tail's Healing Ward to refresh, and then go back into the fight.
Okay.
Like, there's no way that you push without it, because you're just going to get Sleight of Fist, Sleight of Fist, Sleight of Fist.
Is that chip damage all the time? An Ember Spirit having that Daedalus and Battle Fury, that Sleight of Fist hurts.
He doesn't have buyback though. I think Fada is, yeah, he's just 30 gold away, so this is probably going to be the most important factor.
Ice Path Miracle just runs himself in. And then Cogs make it a little bit more difficult for Miracle to get that perfect positioning, but the Necro units get mopped up. The fortification has to come out from Liquid to keep their melee racks alive, and they just keep waiting. Fada's on the front line, and now your Omni Slash mind control just evaporates. As that melee racks now will finally go down. Miracle finishes the job. Still with the Aegis, the Immortal available. Clockwork will bite back here, and there's your hook shot forward, catching out Miracle, but he BKBs, winds up the Requiem. Fada, the Ice Path won't be able to connect on him as we split this fight into 2. It's the battle inside the base, where you actually cannot find anything until the Spirits, they jump back at Miracle. The Death Ward down, the bouncing damage from Jirax, actually just pushing Monkeys out here with the corpses back to base. No buybacks really there, it's just the Aegis Immortal for Miracle, and it's locked down, perfectly controlled. His Death Ult, he won't find any kills, but they do still take out the full mid-racks. It's at a pretty high cost because Liquid were able to get a couple of kills, but they also had to buy back a mind control.
I don't think that even matters. Like, that's definitely an overall win for Liquid. Like, the Rex, a set of Rex at this point in the game, 34 minutes, when you've got plenty of heroes to deal with it, you're okay with that, because the amount of times that Monkey can go for that kind of push is limited. You've got the next Roshan. If you don't take a Rax there and dominate the fight, then conceivably Liquid can just kind of hold out and win the late game.
Yep.
Like, look at Matama Man's farm now. You're not going to get through this hero very easily anymore, and you don't have the best ways to gap close anymore.
And he's also creating space for later on. Like, he should be able to finish up this tier 3 tower before Monkeys can stop him. Defensive Spirit's up on the other side of the hill. So if you do actually have one good fight go the way of Liquid, they can potentially take a counter Rax on a side lane as well.
Yeah, at this point in the game, you just traded a set of racks for about 3,000 gold in favor of your team and a bunch of experience,
and
plus a lot of
tower.
farm. Exactly, this is 100% worth it for Liquid. Like, look at the gold graph. It cost you about almost all of it right now just to get that one Rax at 35 minutes into the game. That has no bearing on the game anymore.
It's the full Dark Knight, man. We got Batman Graph kicking in. And, well, Miracle, not really a position he wants to be in when he gets caught out by the Searing Chain, but Liquid, they also are not going to throw away the advantage they've just managed to gain. And they're actually stacking up on Lincoln's by the looks of it. Unless Mind Control's thinking something else, he's got himself that perseverance.
They're going to smoke up. They want to kind of continue to press this right now. They know with no Aegis available, that's what allows Monkey to continue to fight. You've got a Butterfly now completed on the SF, which is significant, but No-Tail's farm has just not quite been there. He's 4,000 gold behind the other cores, and he's got a Blink Dagger and an S&Y, 2 items that are okay, yes, but they're not meant to really scale with you.
Miracle's back to pushing out that middle lane. While on bottom lane, Notel, this is the chance for Liquid. They jump in, they get the Orc off, and Notel's dead. No way to come back to life. There is no buyback for him. He's 1,000 gold short of the buyback. And this is bottom racks. Like, without the Juggernaut, like, how are you meant to fight this as monkeys?
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
I don't think you really want to take this fight, because if you lose this fight, you don't have buyback on the Shadow Fiend either, and you can't really afford to lose that hero.
But they're still using SF on the front lines. Fada, they get through the Lincoln Sphere with a Roar as well. Fada, he's going to burn inside the Macro Pie.
Oh, but the Death Lord!
For the Death Lord. Miracle will still get the ulti off. This will buy them the time as they Glimmer Cape up. G-Rex trapped inside the shards as Miracle goes for the double kill. G-Rex,
oh, that
they
forced
forced
that!
him out! The Ice Path can't connect because of it. Saving his life. The TB out from Mind Control. They get away, only losing Fada as well as Koro. The timing. So good.
What kind of monster are you, Mind Control? I don't even get this guy. Yeah, that was so absurd on that timing. Like, Jerax 100% should have been dead there, but that Butterfly really pays off in that fight, keeps him alive through everything. The Death Ward was so good, but that Glimmer Cape value by Monkey keeps Miracle alive. That could have conceivably just been a Rax trade.
Yep.
If it wasn't for that Glimmer Cape and that Butterfly too. Good decision by him to not save for the buyback.
Man, two amazing highlight moments to kick in right there. The fact you're able to get that 4-staff moment, as well as having our Sleight of Fist CM ulti moment back inside the Liquid base. That's the dream.
Those are the little cute things that look so awesome in Dota. It's just presence of mind, honestly. That was sick, though. But Tumba Man's got the Demon Edge. Probably going to go for the MKB now. No reason not to in Monkey. They just want to slow down the pace of the game, go for the next Roshan.
We get to see it again now. So the initial control, G-Rex's Death Ward does so much damage at this position.
Oh,
Matomaman's forced to get back out again. And this is when you can see the Ice Path. The Ice Path is about to come in and 4-staff out. Actually looks kind of crazy because the Ice Path was actually, the animation was over him, but the stun didn't apply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that Glimmer Cape, though, really saved Miracle. I don't think they had vision in that fight.
Monkey's coming for a fight. That Hawk, it gives him the vision of Batumperman. And crit. Okay, well the Sleight of Fist can be used to get rid of the Hawk, and now he has to spirit himself away with a Blinking from Fly. Gets the first punch. They roar as well, so Batumperman dodging a little bit of it, but the Ice Path again. 80 seconds on the sideline. He'll have to buy back into this fight with the Death Ward from G-Rex. They need to back out now, Monkeys. They've already got the 2 kills, but they can push in through mid and go for a side lane if they want to.
That was a mistake. He didn't have enough space on him, and Fada couldn't get the Lincoln Sphere quite onto him. If he was able to, he would have been able to block. Maybe even save his life, but as it stands, Monkey's in a great position now. They can just go for this top racks, force the buyback from the Ember Spirit.
But there's no clockwork. That initiation control isn't there. And we saw how critical it was during the last fight just to get out. Now you got Miracle knocking on your door. The mech has been used, however, but this tier 3 tower just doesn't exist anymore.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
So Monkeys get 2 good pickoffs. They get a buyback on a big core of Liquid, which slows down the extra damage of Matupperman. Like, he's got this Demon Edge on him, but there's nothing more to come. And you took a tier 3 tower as well.
He has to have the MKB now. They don't really have the best way to deal with Miracle.
Even taking out Beastmaster. Beastmaster just finished out of Halberd.
You've got the Shiva's Guard completed on the Queen of Pain now. At some point, I would like to see a BKB, just so she can kind of get into the fray of things. Or just build pure damage so that your Ember Spirit doesn't have to be your only way to deal with the Shadow Fiend. But the Shadow Fiend right now is monster. Once he gets his Satanic, it's going to be so hard to bring him down. You don't have that instant burst. You don't have a Hex or anything like that to deal with him when he's really low. So that BKB Satanic is going to be especially powerful, but this is just going to mean that Bantumba Man's MKB is even more crucial to this. And
the opening, Kuro's so close. The smoke's going to break. Mind Control throws out the rocket, gives him good vision, and they're just getting out of here.
Oh,
the Glimmer Cape, though, Kuro, they force up him out again, and the hook shot forward by Mind Control. He's trying to cop and split up Monkeys, but there's so much damage when that Omni Slash goes to work. Kuro will survive, but not for long. After the Omni Slash bounces back down, and Notel into the spin, and this is a real bad fight for Liquid. Even with Fada's ulti, they've taken so much damage. G-Rex, no, he's not duking that one out. He'll get the paralyzing cast, but he'll still end up dying to that Shadow Fiend attack. And this could be it right now for Liquid. You've taken so many casualties. Roshan is up in a fraction of a second. And this will be the safety Rosh as well. The Hawk is over it, so Monkeys know everything.
just so many mistakes made by Team Liquid, and I feel like that was just communication errors. Mind Control decides to go in to try to save a Crystal Maiden, who was pretty much guaranteed dead, and at that point I feel like all of Liquid should have just been saying to themselves, disengage, disengage, there's no way that we're going to take this fight anymore, but they decided to commit a little bit too hard, and I mean, whatever advantage that they had built up, especially at that bottom fight, where they were able to get that free tier 3 tower and almost kill Miracle, that could have been the game, but everything's pretty much turned around, especially with that pickoff on that Ember Spirit immediately after that. And with that Roche pickoff too, I think they just go for the high ground now.
Yeah, when you go Satanic on the Shadow Fiend, so you know you basically got a second life over on Miracle. You've got the real second life with the Aegis Immortal on No-Tail. And the cheesy Beastmaster. Yeah, they're coming to the top. Liquid have to play out of their minds to defend this high ground from the Monkey attack. I don't even know really exactly how they're going to do it. They do have buybacks, however. You got the buyback over on the Quab. But then, is that even going to do much? Because she's going to Sonic Wave, and then what else is there? You got Shiva's Guard, a little bit of Scream, a little bit of Control. Just like the Witch Doctor is your primary source of damage when it comes to these fights, just because the level 3 Aghanim Scepter Death Ward.
You do have the MKB now completed on some Matamba Man.
Okay, that's going to help a lot.
Yeah, so they can finally kind of deal with this SF, but now that he has Satanic, it's going to get even harder.
Yeah.
And with this Aegis, I think they want to go for the high ground. There's no tower left over. And when it comes to buybacks, you've only got it on the Queen of Pain.
They're not ready to go,
though. Yeah, this is sort of...
I mean, you actually had a lot of TPs to bottom lane. Both Crit as well as Fly came back home.
They were actually waiting for the Ember to show up again, but no signs of him. He's actually at top.
He's showing himself on top lane.
Maybe they thought he was going to go for the split, and they wanted to just have heroes ready. But Monkeys is going to make sure to push out this bottom lane. There's no reason for them not to, because Matamba Man can just go for the split, and they definitely don't want that to happen right now.
They're giving him a little bit of space for it. But then again, Liquid, actually, no, they're so scared. They're sitting inside their base hoping Monkeys will arrive so they can try and take this fight.
The line has been drawn.
It's a weird horizontal line. Is that
Dota players aren't the best at drawing. I know this myself.
The artistic flair is just not there. Well, we saw a Scriff try and draw hard earlier today, and that failed.
You play Dota all the time.
Alright, so top lane push is on its way. The bottom lane's already been pushed out by Boars and the rest of the creep waves. The rest of Monkeys do arrive. So here's our 5v5 fight. This is a must-win for Liquid. There is no other choice. They protect the Ember Spirit by putting the Lincoln Spear over on him. And it's going to wear off and they just instantly refresh it up. And there's Fada who's actually sacrificing himself to do this. Because he knows that they get rid of the Sigil, but there's your jump in. They catch out Jirax. That's how much they're pushing into him by committing the Abyssal Blade. But Big Daddy, he didn't get any kills from this. Now the Paralyzing Cast bouncing forward from Jirax. They can't really find an opening. Fada's not ready to blink out, but they do get the Searing Chains on Miracle. They'll Glimmer Cape him into safety, but No-Tail's completely out of mana. So he can't even use his Abyssal Blade at the moment. The Side of Fist will keep the Creep Wave at bay, and Monkeys, they kind of need some Arcane Boots. They need some regeneration.
Oh, No-Tail actually just...
Oh, they forced up him up! Miracle! Burned out by the Cogs. They split the fight. The Cogs actually trapping a little bit of Liquid in there. And the hook shot. Well, where's your control? The SN's already brought down the clockwork. Kuro going for that full duration ulti, but the top rack's already taken. There goes your Sonic Wave. And Kuro, he will finish it, but at the same time, he'll die. Fada is controlled, and this should actually be the game now. The Ember's up in the air. Matamba, maybe not. The buyback is there from the Queen of Pain. And Big Daddy, he'll burn the Aegis of the Immortal. Jirax does not have the extra control, but they're looking for the Searing Chains with a perfect ice path. Just controls them, but it'll be the sacrifice of Moon Meander. He's about to die underneath where that top Rax fell. So Liquid, they're forced to buy back only on the Queen of Pain, however. They lose another lane of Rax, but they keep the hopes alive. They keep that Ember Spirit up through it all. And this damage can keep increasing. I know it's kind of stupid to say, like, maybe the Ember can just, like, rapier this game to freedom, but like, his damage is still up very high.
It's 12,000 gold now is a difference. I mean, it's hard to imagine that at one point, just like 10 minutes ago, this game nearly got back to 0 after Liquid lost their racks, but...
How about this thing? The fact that this is now, after that fight, the first time Monkeys has an experience advantage in this game. It took them 45 minutes to gain an experience advantage in this game.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, is that Liquid had a lot of opportunities, I feel, to take this game. And they had a lot of different ways they could have held once the Ember had as much farm as he did, but these little mini pickoffs just, you can't really allow them to happen against Monkey's lineup because they just decide to go for it over and over again. And now you've essentially got 1 life remaining. That's how you should look at your racks when you've got the lineup that has a slightly better late game. You've got 1 racks in that bottom racks, and then from there on out, the game just gets so miserable. And the Juggernaut now has an Abyssal Blade, so he's finally got some damage to back up that SY.
Fly. The burn, mind control, goes for the hook shot, and 1 swing from Ember Spirit will finish this job. Should also correct what I was saying before. This is the second time today this has actually happened, where to build the Lotus Orb, you go the plate mail second. You actually go for the Perseverance to start with and then build into the Lotus Orb. Getting the recipe before plate mail.
He just needs some armor right now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, why would you go for the Perseverance first?
Probably was just nearby it. The Courier was probably way too far away, and Fada is going to get spotted by this Hawk.
He takes it out with the Shivas at least.
Final Shriek and it dies. Moon Meander is thinking about it.
Well, there's more where that came from. There's your Raw. Actually break through the Lincoln Spear
Matumba
before he
dies
gets
too.
the Raw, and Fate is in way too deep. But Matumba will actually buy it back into this game. He had a Spear on the front lines. They're just trying to get the hell out of here. Maybe with a little bit of Sleight of Fist and Searing Chains, they can ensure this kill on the Necro units, which they're able to do so. But Fada, he was just too caught out. The Juggernaut will bring him down, and there is no Queen of Pain for 106 seconds. Buyback is on cooldown based on time, not money. And the only buybacks they got is, well, it was Clockwork, but Clockwork just bought more. He just bought the plate mail, so he's finished the Lotus Orb.
With that, I mean, that Blink Abyssal just destroyed the Ember. He assumed that the Queen of Pain was always going to be able to save him with that Lincoln Sphere, but you saw Moon Meander just go for that pure outplay. He uses the Heaven's Halberd to proc it first, then roars the Queen of Pain. At the same time, the Ember Spirit goes down, an all-out assault by Monkey Business. They planned that so well when it came to the timing.
I love how they try and chip Miracle down, but this guy's got a Satanic. He does not care.
You've got to try.
The top lane's pushed in, the mid lane's pushed in so far, and they forced off him again. Mind Control's been so good with that. Into a Malediction, so Miracle could have a little bit more trouble, but Durex is waiting for the perfect time. He doesn't want to waste his Death Ward on a Satanic Shadow Fiend. It's not enough for him to do so. But this bottom Rax is dying in the meantime, and Matumberman, Sleight of Fist Searing Chain's coming back off cooldown. Mind Control still burning off this mana of Miracle, but it's still like Satanic. And there's your jump in by Big Daddy No-Tail, then just goes for it. The Clockwork's down for the count, and there really is just nothing left in the arsenal here of Liquid. The Crystal Maiden dies halfway through a duration. Jirax goes for a crit. Perfect positioning for the Ice Path. He's been flawless throughout this entire game, and this shall be it. GG! Monkey will take out Liquid 2-0 in what felt like a very convincing fashion. Definitely convincing for game number 1, but solid for game number 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think Liquid definitely had opportunities to win this game, but Monkey, I mean, they were so persistent. They had so many different outplays, and something I really want to highlight that I feel like I just didn't talk enough about as an analyst was the healing ward control. Like, he kept that thing up full duration every single time. It'd be like 4 Sleight of Fists in a row. It's all been healed up. We have a mech too. Like, the fact that it never got sniped, how do you beat that? You can't really continue going for the split there. Like, the Sleight of Fist just doesn't do enough at that point.
Yeah, you're right. Like, they just... Did
you see that? They hit like every ability.
Yeah,
it's just
you're right.
healing warded.
Yep. The sustain was so good for Monkey the entire way through. The crazy thing is like how tanky they were too. Like you get like an SF with a Satanic. The Jakira was naturally tanky, so was the Tuskar, so was the Beastmaster, and then Juggernaut gives them all a heal.
Like, I mean, Crit had an unbelievable game. The amount of Ice Paths that he hit, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
This was about as clean of a team victory as you can get. You had some star individual performances from Miracle, but overall they just good stuff.
Well, before we take everything away from what the analysts want to talk about, let's throw it back to them in just a moment.
Thank you very much, Toby and Blitz. And yes, indeed, Monkey Business taking the series 2-0 over Liquid, which means Liquid will be moving down to the lower bracket, and they're going to be fighting for their life in this tournament coming up in our 3rd series today. Wow, what an exciting series.
Yeah, it definitely was. Honestly, when I saw the draft, even they made a few mistakes. They got a really nice CM ulti that just destroyed them. But because of their draft, they were able to kind of recover, group up with the healing ward, and just kind of try again. And it worked. I honestly want to point out Matumba Man's play in that game. It was really, really well played by him. He put so much aggression on the early game, even though they did lose, of course. But the way he played the Ember Spirit, he was constantly in the enemy jungle, putting pressure on the mid. It was really nice.
It's actually really fits Matumba Man's play style.
Yeah.
He utilizes oftentimes the free space that he's given to him as a safe laner, and then just is able to buy so much space for his team if he's on a carry like that. But yeah, you got to give of course a shout out to the supports in that game. I mean, Mind Control, Crit, and Kuro all played fantastically well. I don't think you could ask for a better series to display the strength of these two teams. It's just unfortunate that we won't have a game 3 because that game 2 was so close.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like game 2 was much more representative of what we were expecting coming into this series. I could see 3 games that were that close and back and forth. I mean, there were some points where it looked like Liquid was really going to be able to turn it around, where I thought Monkey Business are kind of throwing bodies at this mid lane barracks, maybe going a little bit too deep here. There was almost a turn, but in the end, I think the casters hit it right on the nail on the head. What are you giggling?
I know you switched it up, and we're like, okay, what do we do now? Are we the casters?
The analysts and the casters, both of them are right over there. No, but they were just so tanky. The healing ward, coupled with just how tanky their lineup was, they were able to sustain through those long team fights.
I thought Liquid had the game. I felt like there was one jungle fight where the CM got caught, and Mind Control, of course, had a force staff at the ready, but then initiated back in to initiate a fight, but he was trapped between cogs, and there was an eye shard down, so I felt like the game was very well in control after they lost the mid-racks, but they got a fight. I think that was the comeback moment. I think that's when the graph hit back to 0.
Yep.
I thought that was when Liquid, all right, that's where your heroes ramp in and take the game, but I don't know, was some picnic moments in the jungle, or was just a little bit of miscommunication in fights.
Yeah.
I agree. I thought they were going to be able to stabilize as well. There was also the push at the bottom lane.
They should have stabilized.
Where Fada got caught inside of the base and was just instantly taking out. I think surprisingly, I really feel like Fada usually plays the best on his team, but I think it was just a couple mistakes here and there that might have cost them the series just across the board. But I noticed Fada's the most.
Yeah.
Which I really hold him in such high esteem.
I think
as
Moon,
a Queen of
though,
Pain.
took such advantage of that. He was very, very quick on them roars, and always they were very on point. His even control of the Hawk gave them such an amazing. There was one time when they were pushing mid, and they had this random Hawk in the bottom lane just scouting for Ember Spirit, just to kind of keep tracks of him and see what he was up to. Just stuff like that makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we see the diversity in Monkey Business as well, knowing that Moon can take the Beastmaster off lane, or it could be played mid by No Tail, makes it a little bit more of a diverse pick. But let's take a look at the bracket, see how things are squaring up here. We've only had one series, but can visualize here our double elimination bracket as we get towards the tail end of the European coverage. So we just saw that top series, Monkey Business move on. That puts Liquid down in the bottom portion of the bracket. Coming up next, we'll have the Ninjas in Pajamas versus Alliance, the Swede-on-Swede matchup once more. And then after that, we will have that losers round 1 played. So we'll see who Liquid gets to square off against to fight for survival coming up pretty soon here.
I thought Team Liquid was the favorite coming in today, and actually I thought they would be the first team to qualify.
Yeah.
Surprised to see Monkey really ramp it up with 2 well-executed drafts and well played. I mean, that Juggernaut last pick, their last picks are always the thrust, man. It's just, maybe that's not the right image, but it's just
it's fine.
It's always on point.
It finds the opening. It finds the vulnerability in the draft. They really know how to push that. You're absolutely right. The last picks have been certainly on point. And I agree with you. I felt like Team Liquid was the favorite going into this, that they were the best of the 4 teams. And now that they're knocked down, I'm hoping they're going to be able to recover and they won't tilt at all. But for me, if I'm looking at Team Liquid versus Alliance or Ninjas and Pajamas,
that's scary stuff.
I really feel like Team Liquid should be able to win, but
I mean, they should have been able to beat Monkey Business as well. So.
And Nip and Alliance both bring something very unique to their playstyle that sometimes you can just get beat out by the draft again.
Both of those teams have been looking a little hot and cold recently, and coming into this tournament, they've both looked hot.
Yeah,
so
Nip looks super hot.
It'll be a crazy series when they face off, and then the series after that will be insane as well. All the Dota today is top-notch, for sure. Well, with that, folks, we're going to take a break. Then coming up next, we'll have the Swede-on-Swede matchup, Alliance versus NIP, right around the corner.